Good evening once again, and thank you for joining the Beating COVID 19 videocasts. Today we are going to we're going to continue with the Lagtime information that we covered yesterday because we had a lot to cover yesterday. And we're going to narrow down to two particular things to watch out for. Number one, risky behavior. What are those risky behaviors that will lead to a community spread? For the most part, all the government agencies and people of goodwill, all they've asked you to do is to prevent infection, as in the 4 C's. The 4 C's that we know, and the 1 C that we added extra, where you have to clean your hands, cover your mouth, clear your distance, and chill at home. And the additional one, either if you're going to visit other people, change your mind, change your clothes, or carry extra clothes. And in the public gathering, fulfill the first 4 before you do the extra one. Now, all those actions have been meant to prevent you from getting infected. Great. And they work very well. However, now we have to deal with the reverse. What if? How do you get infected? And how you get infected is a factor of the two things. Number one, risky behavior, and number two, lag time. Yesterday we discussed lag time as the period it takes between the onset when you get exposed to the virus to when your symptoms come up. By the time your symptoms come up, you are contagious. Usually, the incubation period for coronavirus or COVID-19 is between 2 and 14 days. However, by the 5th day, you already have, in most cases, developed some symptoms. And it is at that time that you are very contagious and spreading the virus even without knowing. Tests have been done that even a conversation distance like this, which is like 2 feet from the camera, is enough to spread the virus from my mouth out into the public. Therefore, covering the mask will prevent further spread. What that means for you is that the lag time, the time it takes between the exposure to the virus to the time symptoms start forming, it's the most crucial time. Because guess what? We are a community-driven people. We live with our parents, we live with our aunties, we live with our cousins. Our maids are here, our friends come over, we have relatives, we have friends, they are close by. What are we doing? We are enhancing the community spread. By the time you succumb to your symptoms, to the point that you have to go to hospital or you fight them off and continue living, you will have passed the virus from yourself to a vulnerable person. I'm not very good an artist, but I have a small illustration here which I can share with you. You can see at the point of risky behavior, your clock starts ticking. And when you infect the next person, their clock starts ticking. If you infect a second person, their clock starts ticking. And by the time they get contagious, they infect somebody else and that clock starts ticking. And the story goes on and on and on. The virus escalates because we act in a risky behavior. Risky behavior is the sole cause, opening, weakness that brings the infection to you. So, what are risky behaviors? Congregating in large groups of people without any social distancing, any coverage of face masks and all that, any cleanliness of hands, and how else will you put it? A total disregard for hygiene and courtesy. That's risky behavior. Now, in some cases, you are forced into risky behavior. Let's say it is 6:50 and you need to cross the ferry. You will be put into a queue. And in that queue, the social distance is not respected. You come at the back of a motorbike. That distance is not respected. What do? wear your mask and wear it correctly. Cover your nose and mouth. Breathe normally, like they say in the aeroplanes. And also, try as much as possible that if you get to a station where you can wash your hands, hand sanitize, do that to prevent any particles sticking to you. Because when you take off your mask after being in a risky position, you have already started your clock ticking. You are in a risky situation. Now, those of you who believe this virus is not for you, then you could stop watching this video. And I wish you luck. Now, as we have always said in these conversations, that 80% of the cases have either mild or asymptomatic symptoms, as in no symptoms or little symptoms. Those are the ones you should worry about. Unfortunately, those are the ones who are going out in public and saying, there is no virus, I did my thing, I know, but you know what? They are super spreading the virus because they don't know they have it. And because they don't know they have it, they put everyone around them at risk. Now, if we want to stop the continual spread of virus, we have to understand the second thing, which is lag time. All the tests that are coming out today indicate that 7 to 14 days ago, the person who is positive was exposed to the virus. Now, 7 to 14 days of contact tracking is a lot of work. Therefore, I urge you, the viewer, and you, the one who's listening, and you, the one who watches these things and also hears what the news says, imagine that we are watching the history of the virus every day we have a report. You might find that the person who has been mentioned or who you know has gone into quarantine because they have the symptoms, did you meet him in the last 14 days? Pass him by the street, knock on his door, meet his first generation of infected people. You don't know for sure. Therefore, whatever is being announced, as much as it is accurate to the day, it is a reflection of somebody who was infected between 1 and 2 weeks ago. Therefore, it is so important for you to take personal responsibility for your health by doing the following things. Avoid risky behavior. Risky behavior means going out in public without any facial protection, neglecting the social distancing rules, hanging out with people without masks. They look healthy, they look strong, they look okay. But guess what? At this time, you need to apply the extra 1C where you change your mind. Just change your mind. Realize that hanging out with them, you do not know their status. Remember, back in the day when HIV was the issue, you were always told to know your status. Now you do not know the status of the people around you. Yet, you hang out with them, you go drink coffee with them, you hang out with them without a mask, you don't keep a distance, they are laughing and coughing and sneezing and laughing and coughing and talking and shouting and screaming, and you do not know their status. My friend, if you remember the Give videocast, which I'll put in the description, one of the best things you can ever give your friends are masks. If you want to hang out together, get a good set of masks. Not just this cloth mask off the street. Get them N95s. Then you can hang out together because we know those things are filtered out. But if you can't offer them a mask, then don't offer them your time. Number 1, risky behavior. Avoid risky behavior. Number 2, if number 1 fails, like you are in a situation where it was risky, set a clock for yourself. Do your own lag time. If within 5 to 7 days you have had no symptoms, wait it up till the 14th day. If after 14 days you have no symptoms, then you are clear that you don't have it, and you did not engage in risky behavior in the interim. That is how we can stop the spread of this virus, by avoiding risky behavior and understanding how lag time works. I urge you all, during this period, this month of May, let's make this month of May the month where we bring down the numbers. And you know what? If right now we're doing 19, if we stopped today, within 14 days time, we could bring this down to 0. Why? Because we would not be spreading it anymore, and anyone who gets sick will have the opportunity to be treated, and anyone who has symptoms will have the opportunity to be tested, and those people can be taken out and treated without disrupting the community. Ladies and gentlemen, the choice is yours. I and my house, we are doing our best not to get infected. And I and my house are looking out that we do not expose ourselves, our children, our workers, our friends, our neighbors, our people who come to work for us, clean our cars, do whatever, the car wash guy. All these people, we're trying to help them in every way possible. That they don't get it, so we don't get it. And we don't get it, so they don't get it. I urge you all to take this seriously. Risky behavior will lead to further infections. And you think now is the issue? The result you have had today is 14 days old maximum, 7 to 14 days old, because that's the duration it takes for the symptoms to come to the forefront, for the test to be sensitive to get the result. If I got exposed today and I took the test today, I will be seen to be negative. It's until later on, 3rd, 4th, 5th day, when they do the test, then they will find enough virus load in my system to register a positive test. So that's why you're having 14-day quarantines. It's the standard operating procedure. So guys, before you go to bed, put your children to sleep, go and pray. On those of you who are going to be up late in the night, I urge you all to rethink your movements and rethink your behavior. We are not coming, this is not information that is meant to affect a certain community or a certain faith. Coronavirus does not come with a Bible, neither does it come with a kanzu, neither does it come with an Indian robe. It doesn't come as advertised. Coronavirus catches you when you play with it. Remember, hujui status ya wale watu mko nao. Tafadhali, take time, chukua time kujikinga we mwenyewe, and on top of that, kinga wale wanakupenda na unawapenda by giving them the right information, avoiding this risky behavior. Kwa sababu ukijiexpose leo, it's 14 days 14 days utakaa kabla hujajua kabisa kama the symptoms are there. Take the time and the effort. If we do this now, by the end of the month we can be at 0. Patience pays. We have 14 days. I urge you all to take it seriously, because your life is in your hands, but your community's life is also in your hands. Do not expose them to something you cannot survive yourself. Imagine how much blood you have in your hands when your community is dying because you did not take care of yourself. You engaged in risky behavior and exposed them all to a virus, and some of them to their untimely and early deaths. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a joke. This is for real. It is not a rehearsal. There is no actors. When somebody dies in this COVID day, they are dead. And those who survive, which is a large percentage, about 80% will make it. Let us be the survivors so that our communities can live on. We protect our wazees so that they can pass their wisdom to us, and we can pass that wisdom to our children. Thank you for your time. It's another long episode. I feel passionate that we need to take action today. Not tomorrow, today. Thank you. God bless you. Take care. Enjoy this period of Saum and Ramadan. I am happy my Muslim brothers and relatives and friends are enjoying their time. At least they are growing in their faith. And us who are also Christians and other non-believers and so on, people out there, please let's take this time to concentrate on doing a better thing for our community. This is Mombasa. It is a life and death thing. We need to take action now. Good night. God bless. And if I continue, I'll talk to you tomorrow morning.